I love food and I love gaming. I love gaming with my friends and eating with them, but not finger food, which is what most gamers have. I am going to show you how to cook simple, quick and tasty recipes that you can have around when your friends come for a gaming evening. Welcome to Dice and Slice. Welcome to this episode of Dice and Slice. This is a very exciting one because we have the guys from Modiphius bringing us the prototype of the upcoming game Thunderbirds, designed by Matt Leacock. This is not the final product, so what you see today may not be the same thing that you get when you buy the game, but it's so exciting because it's really cool. It's so exciting that I don't really want to spend that long cooking today. So I'm going to show you how to prepare a roast chicken with barely any ingredients that tastes absolutely fantastic and you can have in the oven in 5 minutes flat, and how to cook some vegan brownies. Yes, vegan brownies that taste amazing as well. So I'm going to the kitchen. The ingredients are a whole chicken, about just under 2 kilos in this case, some salt, a few sprigs of thyme, a whole lemon, some olive oil, about 200 ml of water and some freshly ground black pepper. Before I jump into doing this chicken, I need to introduce you to a very dear friend of mine that's been with me for years and will probably be with me for the rest of my life, and I cannot imagine cooking without her. My magic pan. And seriously, I cannot recommend enough that you get one of these. This is an enamel pan which I found in the recycling dump, and I bought it for £2, and it is absolutely incredible for several reasons. Firstly, because nothing sticks to it. It's very easy to clean. It's very big, it goes in the oven, it goes on the hob, and most importantly, the lid, as well as being able to be its own tray, but it is self-basting, which means that once this thing is sorted, is covered, the whole thing will be basting constantly, so you don't have to worry about it at all. You can just put this in the oven and forget about it. It is an absolutely fantastic investment, and I'm going to use it for this roast chicken. If you don't have one of these, just cover your chicken tightly with some foil and you'll be having pretty much the same effect, just not as long lasting as my Wonder Pan. This is a very simple recipe to do. This is incredibly simple. What we're going to do is take the lemon and we're going to stuff the chicken with the lemon. I do two things with it though. Firstly, drizzle just a little bit of olive oil. Just a wee little bit, not much. And now take a grater and grate the rind of the lemon, not a lot of it either, because you don't want the bitterness to come onto the skin. Just take some of this beautiful rind on the skin of the chicken. That's it, it doesn't have to be any more. And once we've done that, quarter your lemon, and literally just shove it into the chicken. That is that. Very tightly. Make sure that the string, bring this in, takes all the legs so it gets as sealed as possible. Little bit of olive oil inside the pan. Yes, I am touching things after touching the chicken. That is not a good idea. And I'm going to have to wash everything after that. Absolutely everything. Once you have that, take the time. Just sprinkle a few leaves on the chicken. It doesn't, again, don't overdo it. Just like that. A little bit more olive oil. And I use the olive oil so things actually stick to the skin. A good generous pinch of salt, and the rest goes down there. A fair amount of black pepper. By the way, if you don't have a lemon, you can also use an orange. Works absolutely fine. And then the water. And then the lid. And then the oven about 180. And it's going to be 20 minutes per pound, so about half a kilo, plus 20 minutes. So it's going to be there about an hour and a half, give or take. Always make sure that you skewer your chicken, and if the juices run clear, you're pretty much there. That's it. Now you can go, and for the next hour and a half, play again. The time to get the chicken out of the oven has arrived. So, oven off. Again, I took the lid off about half an hour before it finished. And I hope the top camera can get what an absolutely beautiful, beautiful shade of brown that chicken has turned out to be. Now, once again, this thing should rest. Remember, every meat that you roast, you have to let it rest. Don't worry, it's not gonna go cold. Put the lid on and let it sit in there for about 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be any longer than that. Get it ready until the table is finished and ready to eat. The chicken is rested. I'm just gonna give this thing a bit of a stir to make sure that it's not stuck to the bottom. And I'm going to transfer it to a plate to make things easier for everyone. These are a godsend, I can tell you. Just get it out. And 1, 2, 3, and bring it in. And that is, my friends, a beautifully prepared chicken. And carving knife. I'm so excited about this. Just look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful thing. But good heavens, that is absolutely amazing.
My name's Derek Main. I'm here today to play the Thunderbirds board game, which I'm really looking forward to. I was one of the original backers of Dice and Slice, the Kickstarter, something I'm really glad that I got involved in. I had the opportunity to come down earlier in the year, and or actually late last year, and do some unboxings, which I really enjoyed, and it's great to be back here again today. I'm really looking forward to the Thunderbirds game. I had my interest in it rekindled last year when I backed the Gemini Force book. And that sort of got me back into Thunderbirds in a funny way. So my daughter, bless her, bought me the box set of Thunderbirds episodes for Christmas, and I'm working my way through that at the moment. So yeah, bit of a rekindled some of those childhood memories, and really looking forward to playing the board game.
And now for the brownies. The ingredients are 250 grams of flour, 65 grams of cocoa powder, 100 grams of chopped walnuts, a pinch of salt, a teaspoon of baking powder, 350 grams of demerara unrefined sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, 250 ml of vegetable oil, and 250 ml of water. Preparing these brownies could not be any easier and will take any less time, really, and it doesn't need that many ingredients, and being vegan means I say for absolutely pretty much anyone to have. Of course, if you have somebody with a gluten intolerance, then just use some gluten-free flour, which is absolutely fine, and you can use it without any issues. What we're going to do is literally just drop the cocoa powder. We have a spatula here to help. Somebody has mentioned that I say the word literally a lot. That's literally true, and you have to get used to it. The baking powder, because I do things literally an awful lot. I like mixing things up. You don't have to really, but I like sieving things together, just bind them a little bit. No particular reason, I just like doing it. You can add the sugar at this stage or the water, it doesn't matter. Point is that you add 1, you add the other, and just blending, bring everything together. I am doing this very gently because not baking powder, the cocoa powder is quite thin, and if you handle it very roughly, it goes all over the place, and it's very messy, and I don't like that. Now we add the oil. And the oil is what's going to bind everything together in the oven. Again, be gentle with it. Don't overdo it. There's no rush to do these things. It's only going to take a couple of minutes to do the whole thing. You'll end up with a very gooey, very shiny paste. It looks very grainy. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Cool. Now we're going to adjust. We have to be careful with this. Vanilla essence can be very, very powerful. So we're just going to do 1 little teaspoon. I like to put the spoon in it, so anything that's left can be just brought in to the chocolate mixture. And most importantly, it gives me something to lick. Oh, that's good. Last but no means least, we add our walnuts. I tend to chop them fairly finely without making them into a powder because I feel that way the whole thing binds a lot better. If you have very big chunks, it may not bind all that well, and the mixture becomes a little bit crumblier, which this mixture already is because it doesn't have milk or egg. So it will be crumblier than the usual non-vegan brownies. And we are pretty much done. Now that we are ready to transfer this into our mixing cake thing, I like using these. I like using kind of silicone-based molds because they are flexible, and when you're getting them out, you can just tap them, mix them around, etc., etc. Now, get to know your cake tins, seriously, because some of them will need some coating, some won't. I have a little bit of extra flour here to the side, so I can just scatter it around and coat the cake tin so it doesn't, to make sure that it doesn't stick, because depending on the mixture, it will or won't stick. So just to be safe, a very nice layer, very thin layer of flour will help the whole thing become loose easier later. And now we just bring the mixture gently into the cake thing, to the mold. It's not a thing really, it's a mold, but that's fine. Then people tell me I'm pedantic, that's fine too. And with a spatula get the rest as much as possible. Now spread as evenly as you can, so it goes all over the place. The baking powder will make the whole mixture a little bit. So if at the moment it doesn't seem like it's going into all, or it's as high as the top, don't worry, that will change later. There you go. That's it. That's your brownies done. Now they go into the oven. 20 to 30 minutes at about 150 to 180 degrees, depending on how strong your oven is. The point is that when you stick a knife or a skewer in it, it has to come out fairly clean. It doesn't have to be completely clean. Gooey inside is not a bad thing. Put it in your oven. And while that's cooking, just lick the bowl. We've taken this out of the oven and we'll let it cool for a while. And you can see how it has soaked in the middle. That's because I put a little bit too much baking powder. You have to be careful with that. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't really affect the taste. It's just that it doesn't look as good before you turn it upside down. Now, this is the trick, and this is what I'm going to do, just, I don't know, to risk it and to be as honest as possible with my cooking skills. Because what we're going to do is turn it upside down, and as my cameraman put it, hope for the best that this thing is coming off as we would like it to. And I think it has got stuck a little bit. So very gently, very slowly. And that's actually not too bad. Yes, a little bit has come stuck into the pan, but you know, I can live with that. I'm quite happy, and I think my friends will also be quite happy with that, and they better, because quite frankly this thing tastes quite delicious, and it gives me great pleasure in sticking fingers and eating this stuff which is gooey and awesomely delicious. Here you go. Vegan brownies, prepared in 10 minutes, cooked in half an hour. All done, my friends. All done. We have the game. Obviously, as you can see from this is not the final product at all, but it's already looking pretty sweet. Chris, tell us a little bit about what we see in front of us and what we're going to see when the game is actually coming out.
Well, this is the obviously the playtest kit that's been doing the rounds. We've had a lot of groups working hard with us over the last few months, and it's actually, you're right, it is looking pretty cool. And I think what we're possibly going to be offering these as exclusive designer kits because I actually really like the little acrylic ships that we developed. They are pretty cool. So,
right. So tell us a little bit. Okay, we were discussing before we started that you can lose in more ways than you can win.
Yes.
Because it's a Matt Leacock game, and Matt Leacock is that kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, I'm looking at you. Now, tell me, what was the game all about? How, very quickly, the elevator pitch of how it's meant to play.
Well, if you don't know Thunderbirds, which means you probably don't live in the UK and you've not watched cool TV for a long time, it's about a rich family that have spent their billions developing the most amazing machines, the Thunderbirds, which they rock around the world, saving people from disasters.
Okay, so
basically,
we're going to be the heroes. We're going to be saving the people from.
Yeah, and we operate out of a secret base, Tracy Island, in the South Pacific. And the game is really played on 2 levels. You've got a series of disasters that are happening, sort of turn by turn, that you've got to deal with. Otherwise, you will lose. And you've got the Hood, the arch villain, who basically wants to discover the secrets of the Thunderbirds, this amazing technology that's been invented by the Tracy family, and sell it to the highest bidder. So you have to deal with his schemes that are gradually unfolding. If you don't deal with his schemes, you lose. But that is how we need to win. We need to deal with each of his nefarious schemes before the disasters get out of control. Okay. So it's a juggling mechanic. We've got to plan together how we're going to play. We've got to figure out together who's best to go on the different missions, who's the best rescue team, which are the best machines to use. It's the kind of early days of Thunderbirds. We haven't created all of Brain's amazing pod vehicles that go into the Thunderbird 2 pods that we all know and love. And so as the disasters unfold, we're going to realise that we need the elevator cars or the mole. So we're going to get on the radio to Brains and go, quick, you know that prototype that just tighten up the screws because we need it. So we're desperately going to try and find the resources to build all the prototypes, and also we're discovering other facets of the Tracy family. So they're discovering their courage, their intelligence, their ingenuity. So this is all these sort of rewards that we get for the missions are the Tracy brothers growing, or the various other characters that you can play growing, and becoming the really cool characters that we know from the show. And so really you are playing from the very first early days of the Thunderbirds as literally they're open for business.
That sounds pretty cool. Right, so let's get started.
Yeah, so what we're going to do first is find out which characters we are. So the base game comes with the 5 Tracy brothers and Lady Penelope. So we're going to see first who's who. Right. And they all have different abilities. So who am I going to be?
Excellent.
Result.
I am going to be the rather dashing Scott Tracy.
Well, I'm Gordon.
Well, I'm Virgil.
And you're Virgil.
Just like I was when I was a kid.
Okay. Great, excellent. So as you can see, each of the characters has various abilities. So Gordon, yellow, has +C to sea rescues, and once per turn you may spend an action to draw persistence. Now we've got just some holding graphics for the moment. So persistence is a little tree with its spreading roots. Technology is a cog. Intelligence is a briefcase. Courage is a little lion's face. And ingenuity is the little sparking light bulb. So Gordon is able to draw what we call persistence, which gives you basically an extra action every turn. Whereas Scott, he has a +2 to air rescues. Yep. And
1 per turn, I can spend 1 action to draw 1 ingenuity, which is quite handy, as long as I am in Thunderbird 1, which is fitting because, Thunderbird 1 is kind of cool.
And Virgil, you're +2 at land rescues.
That's right, and I can draw on some technology.
Yeah, which is fantastic because if we want to get the pod vehicles designed quickly, That's what we're going to need. So I think we're going to start the rounds.
Okay.
Just start playing, and we're going to explain how the game unfolds and how badly we're going to lose. So I'll start, and then we'll go around the table anti-clockwise. So really, what we have to do is look at the missions that are out. So we've already got, and these are sort of famous missions from the TV show. So we've got the Atlantic Inferno in the South Atlantic. So we have to think about, as a team, how we're going to deal with this. What's the most pressing? Now, it's very easy to complete a mission. If you're in the location, the South Atlantic, you roll 2 dice, and you're trying to get 10 or more in this case. Okay. And now this is a sea mission, which I'm quite good at, so I'll get +2 at this mission. If I have the Thunderbird 4 with me, I get +2. If Scott is on Tracy Island, we'll have a +3 as well. So that could be, if I'm going to do the mission, I'm not good at space. Doesn't mean I wouldn't go, but and we don't have anyone actually who is good at space, so we're going to have to do our best. And we don't have either of the characters involved, so we'll have to improvise. We have the Indian Ocean mission, Talons of the Eagle, which is going to need Thunderbird 2 and Gordon as well. So what I would, and this is now the thing is we first think about the mission, and I think obviously we want to deal with the first mission here. So I am going to go in, where's South Atlantic? So it's 2 spaces. But if we also get to the Indian Ocean with me as well, and Thunderbird 2, so what I'm going to suggest is that we put Thunderbird 4 into the back of Thunderbird 2. Yep. It can carry Thunderbird 4 or Fab 1 or 2 mission vehicles, but we don't have any of those yet. I'm going to suggest that we take Scott with us.
Yep.
Because actually no, it doesn't need to be.
No, we want to leave him on Tracy Island.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah. No. Okay. Well, let's. I'm going to leave in Thunderbird 2 because on your turn you'll be able to take over and continue moving us. So we'll move 1 action. Now that was just so you know, it's free to move your characters between the vehicles. So we're going to move 1 action to the South Atlantic. And I've got 2 actions left. So Scott is on Tracy Island. Thunderbird 4 is with us in the South Atlantic. We need a 10 or more on the 2 dice, and I have +2 to sea rescues.
So we're going to make this easily.
Well, we hope.
Excellent.
Yeah, we did.
Told you.
So we've dealt with this mission, and we get a free bonus. Now, because you can create pod vehicles at will, I'm just going to start collecting some of these. And I think that getting a +2 is probably a good idea at the moment, because that can be useful on if you fail a dice roll, and there will be some harder missions coming up. So I'm going to put that to the side. That was my second action. For my third action, I'm going to head towards the Indian Ocean because, whoops, sorry, they're falling apart. We can move off the side of the map. As you can see here, it goes to Africa. Yep. 1, 2, and that's the end of my turn. But then on your next turn, as Virgil, you'll be able to attempt the Talons of the Eagle mission.
Yeah.
So, end of my turn, we draw one of the mission cards and see what it is. Okay, it's another mission. So these both move down to make space for it. So we've got Path of Distraction, it's an 11, which is harder. We're going to need the mobile crane.
Okay, so we better get building.
Yeah, and if Lady Penelope is in Europe, you get a bonus, which she is, which is good. And this gets you, we'll get 2
an ingenuity and 1
ingenuity, and it's a land mission that you get a bonus at. So you could also think about heading to South America at some point. So that's end of my turn, and now it's your turn.
So it's my turn. So yeah. So thinking about this, we want to try and get this one out of the way.
Yeah, because you're in there. You've got +1 Oh, Gordon is in Australia. We didn't get that one right.
No, we didn't.
So you've got a +1 with Thunderbird 2 being there.
10's pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're going to need a 9.
And there's nothing we can really do to add to that at the moment.
No.
No.
Now, Scott...
I have +2 roll on air rescue, so we can try that one later.
Yeah. Worst case, Scott can join.
So if we roll and fail, what happens?
If you roll and fail, you can roll again.
Okay.
Imagine it's like the elevator cars. One of the tyres is blown out.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, quick, get the reserve car out. So it's that kind of moment in the show where like the music, the drums kick in and da da da, and so we've got to
ad break.
Try again. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, let's give it a roll. Let's just give it a roll.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Ooh.
But
I'm guessing that's not good.
Now what that means is the hood has been scheming away and has used your failure to progress his scheme. So you move the hood forward on the track.
Yep.
1, 2.
Both. Okay.
And that triggers an event.
Let's see what the event
What
is.
does it say? The hood interferes.
It says put the card under the mission card in the lowest number slot of the mission track. Subtract 2 from all rescue rolls for this mission.
Right.
Ouch.
So, no, it's the lowest numbered. Oh no, that is right. That is the right track. Yeah. So that's going to make that mission even harder. So you've got -2,
So
and
now
it's
we
an
need to roll
11.
13, basically.
So we really need to make sure Lady Penelope is in Europe, and we definitely need the mobile crane, and it needs to be you doing it.
Okay.
Because of those bonuses. But you've got 2 more actions.
I think, would it make sense to roll that again? Can I roll that again?
If you're going to do that again, no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
See, it seems really high. I think we should try and get. Yeah, I mean, we're not in a panic to get this done.
No,
are we?
no.
True.
You could head towards South America, but what you could do is you could move 1 to South Pacific. You could use an action to build the mobile
I was going to say
crane.
we could get it. That was what I was thinking.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's have a. Let's do the move. So to South America, was it we need to go?
Yes, which is here. But either way, you could stop at the South Pacific, and you really do want the mobile crane.
Yeah. So let's go to the South Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one action.
That's one action.
That's your second action.
And for my third, we'll take
take that, and then you cash it in
straight away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is free, and then that constructs the mobile crane.
Okay.
And then what you can do is decide to, you can just offload that for free and put the mobile crane in.
And we discard that, do we
discard that?
Bottom of the pile or?
No, just on the top, they're all the same.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah. So that's the end of your
that's me.
turn. So do you want to draw one of the mission cards and see what it is?
Yeah.
Don't draw like you roll.
Oh, no, I like this one. Well, I enjoyed the episode. Sun Probe.
Oh, Sun Probe. Well, the space missions are building up, so we're going to have to start thinking about getting into space. That's complicated.
It is.
And it's a 13. That's very hard. Okay. So, it's got to be careful. This is going to happen soon.
Go on, Paco. Do better than I did.
Right, okay.
So I think I am the right person to do this one because I have
you've
plus
got a
2.
bonus. Now, what you could do is you get a bonus if you got Thunderbird 2.
Yes. So if I hop,
you could, yeah.
From here to here.
Yeah.
That's free.
And you want to be in the Indian Ocean, so you can move back to.
So I move back to here.
Yeah.
That's my second. That's my first action.
That's your first thing.
That's your first action, yeah.
And now
Now you can make an attempt. Now you have Thunderbird 1.
Yep.
Sorry, Thunderbird 2. You've got a +2, so you've got +3 to the roll.
So I need to roll 7 or more.
Yeah.
Which
That's
I do.
Yeah, you did.
Congratulations.
Huzzah.
Completed the mission.
And we get something out of it.
Yeah.
Whatever we need. What do we need for?
Well, whoever completes this needs all those tokens.
Okay.
So we either have to all try and get it, and then whoever gets the most finishes it, or I wouldn't get courage because I've got
You
it,
already have courage.
just in case.
I'm going to get that just in case we need to
re-roll is good. A re-roll is good. Yeah. Now you've got one more action.
I presume that get him back, because we have the 3 of us in here now. Get him.
Well, let's think about it. You've got the mobile crane.
Yep.
You need to be in South America next. So, yes, I would probably head back towards Tracy Island. because then I can.
Then you
Oh no,
can
actually, yeah, I'm in the
Yep.
same ship anyway.
Yeah.
And that's the end of your turn.
That's my
Draw a
turn.
mission card.
The Mung from MI5. Recover the plans for the nuclear device. Oh, this is an easy one. This is only 9.
Okay.
It's a sea action.
Right.
And
Okay.
we have Thunderbird.
North Atlantic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, if
Thunderbird 1.
we could do it in Thunderbird 2 if we take Thunderbird 4, but then we need to do the mobile crane. So, on my turn then, I think we've got to consider this one.
Yeah.
We're going to need Alan, who's in Thunderbird 3 at the moment.
Mhm.
John is in space. So getting those two will give us a +2. And I'm wondering whether I should just go and do that and leave you to do that mission. Because
with my track history. Of
you're even better, because you mustn't forget we've got a -2.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump into
Thunderbird 3.
Thunderbird 3. Now thinking about it, we'll probably have to do the Sun mission at the same time, the Sun probe. And that really needs, that's going to be very hard because we don't have any bonuses. But we can't let this one get out of control.
No.
So I'm going to use one action to move into orbit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pick up him. And I'm going to use my second action to move to Venus. And my third action, we're going to attempt this. So we've got +2 for Alan and John. Yeah, so it's my third action, rolling to avert solar danger. Oh
Ooh.
dear.
5.
Not enough. So
Nothing happens.
nothing happens.
Okay.
We're still trying. Right. Now at the end of my turn. Now we could be thinking ahead, thinking about how we get some re-rolls on some of these missions
Yeah.
using our
Because these are
intelligence
stacking
and
up quite quick, aren't
stuff.
they?
Yeah.
They are.
Ah, right. These don't move, which is good. But time ticks on. Advance the hood 1 space on the scheme track. Do not advance any mission cards.
Don't know what's worse.
So we've got a bit of a break, but the hood is
the
working
hood is still
away.
scheming.
Yeah, pretty dead cert to finish this. But otherwise, if you don't take the 2 that we need for this,
Yeah.
You
you're
can
going to
never
have
get
to
it.
come back.
Yeah.
So that
Well, look,
you've
we're
used
pretty
2
good,
actions.
and I've got
Yeah.
a +2 if need be.
Yeah.
So,
You've used 2
So-
actions,
so
then you're
that's
gonna
2
head to North
actions.
Africa.
so just get to North Africa.
Oh,
Ah.
actually, well, what you'll be oh, here's the thought. If I do this on the moon, I will get another persistence. And although I've only got John, I've only got a +1. But if I do it, I will get another persistence, and I will come down and move to North Atlantic with the 2 persistence. So if you're here, but if you've only got 1 turn, yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to do. To assume that we'll do it by the time we get to that next mission.
So there we go. That's me done.
Okay.
There's nothing else we needed to build, was there? No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So danger at ocean deep. Well, we do like our sea missions, don't we?
Yeah.
Rescue the crewmen from the Ocean Pioneer 2 in the Mediterranean. Easy, relatively easy one.
John and Thunderbird 1, if in North Pacific. Okay. Okay.
Right. If I fly to North America,
Yeah. Oh yes, you can do that one.
I can do this
Of
one.
course. +6.
No, just
sorry,
+3.
+3. You need a 7.
Like so.
It's done. Amazing.
And we need some persistence.
Why don't we all start collecting persistence
Yeah.
just in case, see who gets it first.
Right, so that would be 2 actions. And my third action,
Well, that's in Africa. You could go there. You'd have +3.
let's go.
Which means you need a 9.
Or you could take Thunderbird 2 there.
But then Thunderbird 2 has to come back in order.
No, because we just did it.
We just did it.
So you could take Thunderbird 2, and that gives you them.
But these, you know what you can do? You can drop these off. These can be dropped in North America because that's where they need to be.
Yeah.
And so you could hop into that.
And do that.
Move to North Africa, which would be
1, 2. Yep.
I'd load that anyway, just so you can have it.
Right. That was my second. So do I have another one? No, that was my third.
Yeah, that's right. So you're setting it up for the next turn.
Descent of Tiger 1. Rescue the passengers of Tiger 1 before it's hijacked in the Arctic Circle by the Svalbard gang. North Pacific. Alan should be there, and so should I. Well, Thunderbird 1.
Okay. Pressure's on again now. So
I think you're going to the moon then, Chris.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm at Thunderbird 5, so I'm going to use the ability Thunderbird 5 to add a re-roll to the Miners of the Moon mission.
Okay.
Because I think we're going to need that.
Yep.
I'm tempted to do that. No, I can't. I don't want to do it twice because I still need to move.
You've got John with you, haven't you?
Yeah, that's going to give me only +1. So I move there, and then I've got my third action. I'm going to attempt the roll.
Ooh, one away.
8, 9. So I'm going to use the re-roll.
On the 3.
To re-roll the 3.
Yes.
Oh, that's it. Did it?
Fantastic. Okay, and I'm going to take persistence. That's the end of my turn.
Another disaster.
Desperate intruder. Foil the Hood's plans to capture the treasure under Lake Anasta.
Very good.
Okay.
So now we have to deal with the mighty atom, don't we?
Yeah.
Get one out of the way. So we're in Africa. We've got Thunderbird 4.
And you've got your
And I'm a
own-
+2,
Yes,
so we're +5.
And you've got some tokens just in case.
+5, yeah, so let's just roll the dice. See what we get. 5 + 5 is 10.
Oh.
+2 is 12.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, you're cashing in the courage token. You did it. Well done. So you get 2 of your choice. So you get, one of your choice and a cog. Technology.
Yeah.
I'd probably suggest grabbing the persistence as well.
It
then
gives us,
at least
yeah,
2
we're
of
all,
us.
we're all in with a chance, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And that was your first action. So you've got 2. So you could go to North Atlantic and immediately complete that because the laser cutter and the mole are in North America.
And I've got 2. So
that's one action to move there. Off the
off
side.
of there. There. Yeah.
Bingo. Cash in the 2
persistence. Job done.
And
foil the hood.
You fold the hood, and that means you get a free fab card. It doesn't move the hood.
Right, quite excited. Jeff's cross-training program.
Came up with this.
Any single player may swap up to 3 bonus chips for the same number of different bonus chips at any time, not an action.
Good.
So we'll sit on that for a
So
bit.
you've taken that. So that now reveals the final stage of the hood scheme. We're going to need 4 intelligence in Europe and 2 courage. Sorry, 2 ingenuity on the moon.
Well, we can swap some.
Oh, we can. Yes. Yes.
So you could swap them all for intelligence, for instance.
That's a very good idea.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, let's.
So we need to go all out. If we complete that, we've won.
Let's go for
that
it.
would be quite.
So what would we need to do?
In your face, Matt.
Yeah, your game's not hard enough.
Right. So.
What's your turn? All done.
I'm all done. I think
Yeah.
that was my
You drew-
third. That was it.
Did you
Oh,
draw?
I didn't
Mission.
draw a mission. I took the FAB card, didn't I? FAB card. Martian Rescue.
Uh-oh. Rescue the 0X Martian exploration vehicle from the Martian rock snakes. And we've got this damned rendezvous in Rio to do.
I think we can win the game before we need to worry about that.
Well, we've got 3 turns, potentially. So, how do we get... So your fab card can convert any 4?
3.
Any 3?
Any 3 chips for the same number of different chips.
Yep. So if you get another one, you've got what you need for Europe. So the only other thing would be getting 2 ingenuity. Now you've got 1.
Yep.
How could we get... So we need to do either of those 2. Oh, look, if I do the Martian rescue...
You can get your 2 ingenuity.
Yeah. It's a 12 though. And it's on Mars. So maybe what I do... You need to focus on getting another token of any kind.
Well, that's easy because I can draw...
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just need to be... That's 1.
Yeah.
Hoppity.
Yeah.
Take 1 action to do that.
Yes. Now, can you play that at any time? You could play that to cash in all 4.
Yep.
Although you have got the 2 ingenuity. What's going to be easier to collect? Because you can...
If I already have this...
Yeah.
If I already have these 2, wouldn't it make more sense for me to come to the South Pacific?
And come to the
moon. Then come to the moon, so...
Although he can convert 3 to intelligence.
So you've had 2 actions, yeah?
I've had 1 action.
Yeah.
1 action.
No, I beg your pardon. 2 actions because I have to move. So 1 and these 2 actions.
So if you can convert those and then get to Europe, we're halfway there. And I'm on the moon. If I complete this I'm on the moon. I'd have to go to Mars. If I can complete this, we're literally a turn away.
Okay. So
I play that now, which gives you all 4 intelligence. Yep.
And I come to Europe.
That way.
Yeah.
Well, you can go anywhere you want.
Either.
Oh yeah, you're fast enough to go there, aren't you? At the speed of 3.
And that's the end of your turn?
That is indeed the end of my turn. Cry Wolf, rescue Tony and Bob from the collapsing tin mine in Charity Spring in Australia. It's just land. But it's a 7. It's a very simple one. You get nothing.
You don't get anything.
If we're not doing this,
we've got 2 turns.
2 turns. Okay, well.
Okay.
So what can I do that moves you forward then? Well, that's your go. You say you need to sort out. It hangs on you getting the Martian. No pressure.
I've got John. You don't have to leave Penelope, but that's no chance. I've got 2 extra actions, so in theory I can go twice more.
Could you get Lady Penelope then?
No. I'd have to get down here. And I can't get because Thunderbirds 3 can't travel around the planet. It can only go into space.
There's nothing there for you.
Now, I could go to geostationary orbit, put a reroll on Martian rescue.
Yep.
Which we know that is a big help. That would be 1, 2, and then move back to Mars 3. That would be my turn. So then I'd have these 2
to try and roll the dice.
To roll the dice. Or I go 1, and I'd have 2 actions. So in theory, I've got 4 attempts at getting to 12, but getting a 10.
I think I prefer those odds.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'd rather be re-rolling both dice than re-rolling a dice.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try it. Mars.
We need some music.
Yeah.
All right, guys, hold on.
Yeah. Definitely stretch goal for you. Some MP3 clips, you know.
Second action.
Oh!
I can't re-roll. See. That moves him on. Now, what's the event?
Yeah. As long as it doesn't move everything up. No. Does it move everything up?
Kirano. Advance any 2 mission cards. 1 time each on the mission track.
And you've got no choice. It's got to be
1. 2.
No pressure.
We hadn't figured on that, had we?
Yeah. So that. Yeah, we did move that. Yeah. Okay. That was my second action. My third action. And I need 1 to get back to the moon.
10.
Oh! 10.
You did it.
Yes. So we completed the Martian rescue.
Yes.
I get 2. I get a ingenuity, and I get 1 of my choice. I'm going to take an ingenuity.
Yeah, it would be a bad choice to do anything else. And you can use your other action.
And I'm going to use the persistence to come screaming back to the moon. And in the final credits of the show, we have
4 intelligence.
as required to defeat the
4 intelligence.
mission.
And 2.
4 intelligence in Europe and 2 ingenuity in the moon.
And the hood is
Well
down.
done. Thank you.
That's actually one of the first times I've won in a long time.
You hear that, Leacock? We beat you.
So that's Thunderbirds.
To be fair, by the skin of our teeth.
Well, hey.
It literally was the very final moment. When we
Well,
were running out.
you know, all this world saving, I'm jolly hungry.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get something to eat. You clear this while I get the
That
food
was really
sorted.
good. Really good.
Excellent. Good game. That was actually I am amazed. I cannot lie. We didn't win. We missed a rule. We missed a rule. So yeah, Matt, you win. You won. Okay.
Yeah.
But that was actually very Matt Leacock.
It was, yeah.
It's a very Matt Leacock
I must
kind of game.
admit, because I should have known, and I had a feeling they changed the rule, but we actually lost when the hood reached the first scheme card.
I think that was
so
my
his
fault.
first major disaster. And so the game would have been over a lot quicker.
which actually, I have to say, I'm not sure it needs that rule because it would have been over very quickly.
Mm.
I mean,
You play again.
Yeah, 2 games in one night. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, my first game we lost in the first ever game at Essen when we were doing some playtesting. We lost in about 10 minutes.
not bad.
Yeah.
That's a feeling. No, I really like how the tension was growing as we were playing the game, and I presume the people who are more familiar than I am with the series can identify the episodes with.
oh yeah.
I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah.
That worked very well.
Like I said, most of the cards, most of the missions that you're playing are linked to an episode, or maybe the FAB cards are linked. Sometimes we've created new episodes because we've had to balance out the number of sea missions with space missions and land missions. But wherever possible, it's drawn. All the images are from the show.
Yeah.
All the all the sort of wherever there's a bit of story, we're using it inspired by one of the shows.
What did you decide to go for the Thunderbirds game? Why that license in particular?
I loved it as a kid. I was drawing Thunderbird 2 and Thunderbird 1 in kindergarten in my art book, and I got really good at just kind of drawing out the different scenes. And I had the dinky Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Never had Tracy Island. But it was always a real passion as a kid, and it still is. It's they're not dated at all. The shows are great fun still, and so when we came to start thinking about doing a board game, and we wanted to do a board game that really crossed over with a sort of potentially a family audience. I call it a geek mum and dad game. So the gamers can play it together, but you could also play it with the family. And it's compelling. And we thought, well, if we're going to do a game like that, it's got to be cooperative because Thunderbirds is all about working together.
Yeah.
And who better than Matt Leacock? You start at the top and work your way down. and Matt, he didn't know Thunderbirds at the beginning, but when he went back to America and started watching it with his kids, he realised that it was such a great show that it wasn't pandering to kids. It was a really intelligent show, very very clever, and adults loved it. And it had lots of great principles in it. So so he got excited and got on board, and he watched the whole series. And
now, in terms of the game development itself, I mean, when I played in Essen, it already had, the game was there. It was already a solid game, and everything has been just polishing and polishing and polishing and polishing until it's getting really solid.
Yeah.
What's been the process like in terms of iterations? You mentioned earlier that you've had about 10 revisions of the rules.
Yeah, we're on 10, and every week there's little updates. So at the moment we're looking at, should Thunderbird 1 have 2 seats in it? Now, in the pictures it has 1 seat, but there are episodes where Brains travels in the show. There's an episode where a couple of children are sitting on the floor. So there's a precedent for having 2. And if you remember playing the game, it's quite easy to end up rocking around the world in Thunderbird 2. You can carry stuff, you've got more seats.
Yeah.
So that process has been actually trying to reduce the emphasis on Thunderbird 2, so you can carry someone else around in Thunderbird 1 and go and deal with things. It makes it a bit more, gives it more utility. So there's all sorts of lots of little tweaks like that going on. Like originally the scheme cars were literally a deck, and all those various events that were happening to us were also they were in the mission deck, and the hood just had his own track. So, but also that caused some issues of when the missions were coming out. If it was an event, it was also reducing the chance of missions moving forward. You wanted more pressure.
Slow it down.
And Matt's very good at he looks at one thing and sees how he can, if that's a problem, can you change something else that fixes that problem? And so they've gradually distilled down all the things that don't quite feel right. Like the dice are changing. There won't be a 6 on the dice we had.
Yeah.
We were quite lucky
Yeah.
with the old version of the dice, but the new dice will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after the Thunderbirds, and the 6 will be the Hood's face.
Yeah.
So he's taking away the 6 result. So, but as a result, all the numbers on the mission cards will come down a bit. So there's all those little changes, and so we're sending out, to the more playtest teams that have been more proactive, are getting like new sets and like, okay, let's test this, test this, and because the Kickstarter's been delayed, it's been good. We've had a bit more time. We're still working on some of the molds design, some of the sculpts, and getting artwork approved by ITV. We have to run everything past them to make sure it's in line with the brand. Yeah.
Now, so one thing is that licensed games, traditionally, they have this reputation of being absolutely rubbish games. Now, we have already seen that this game is far from, but how are people going to know? What are you going to do to differentiate this game from the rubbish licenses that have come before?
It's a good question, because it's very true. There's a lot of games that you open the box and it's a roll the dice and move around the track, which is traditional. A lot of the toy companies just take a license and they take some design that they've got. So obviously Matt Leacock's name was very important, very trusted. When they announced the cover for the game on Board Game Geek, it was one of the most retweeted announcements they had. And so and obviously not everyone knows Thunderbirds. Not everyone around Europe knows Thunderbirds, let alone America. In America, it's a bit like Doctor Who. There's a lot of fans.
It's a cult.
But they're all spread out over America, and that's why Kickstarter is great, because we can reach a lot of people initially who are the fans. But we're going to use Matt Leacock's name, obviously, because people trust him in terms of doing great cooperative games, family games. And so for the people who aren't familiar with Thunderbirds, we're just going to go, look, it's a great Matt Leacock game. It's about rescuing people. It's not about millions of people dying in virus epidemics. So,
there's nothing wrong with that for a game.
Yeah. So it's it's a different story, and it's a story that might appeal to people who maybe didn't like the theme of Pandemic. Yeah. It's not the same game as Pandemic. It's quite different in terms of mechanics, but it's got that next stage of cooperative tension, which is great. And you know, it's doing things like this that show the game being played, show the sort of moments. It's like kind of movie moments coming out of the table that you think, wow, that felt like an episode of Thunderbirds.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I mean, and it is. I've just been rewatching all the episodes of Thunderbirds, so it was the timing of this was great for me. But you know, just turning those cards over and remembering that episode, or you know, it's great that you've got that level of detail in there. And it must be good going into the Kickstarter knowing that it's so well advanced that the game is there.
Absolutely, you know? Because obviously we've run 2 big Kickstarters before, and kind of hit the ground running. The first Acting Cthulhu Kickstarter we really started as we finished.
Yeah.
The Mutant Chronicles Kickstarter, we developed a rule system, but still had to write the books and do all the artwork, and it takes time. So this time we wanted to be absolutely ready. You know, the sculpts are done, the rules are done. Yep. So by the time we hit the Kickstarter, actually by the time we finish, we are ready to go into production. And so a month after we finish the Kickstarter, we're pushing the button. We're going to have stock at Gen Con. The backers are going to get it just before Gen Con.
That's amazing.
And it's out in the shops in September. Yeah. So we've invested a lot to get this far. We've invested money, time for people to work on it. But we thought, well, actually, we wanted to be a lot more prepared this time. Yeah. And I think that helps everyone.
Yeah, the backers are like that. I mean, there's nothing.
It's a lot more.
Yeah, it's great when you back something and you know when you're going to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, as you know, with a lot of these games, especially involving plastic components and board game elements, and the fact that maybe the rules haven't quite been tested. We're going to be showing the rules in a Google Doc for people to read and to comment on. Even though it's very, very advanced and we're in the final stages, people will be able to see what the rules are and go, well, why are you doing that? And have you thought about doing this? And we'll look at those sort of final stages, but we'll have the ability to fine tune it. Yeah,
excellent.
But essentially, the game will be ready.
Well, viewers, I mean, we could stay here talking about this for yonks and yonks and yonks, but I reckon by now you're either hungry or you want to get out of there and back the project or buy the game if you're watching this show in the future. Thank you very much indeed for being there, as always, an absolute pleasure. And we will come back very soon with more dishes and more games and more goodness. Thank you for being there.
Thanks a lot.